Hello, everyone. We're moving on to Chapter 7. Right now, you're looking at on the screen Module 14, Week 14, and the cumulative software problem. We'll click on it, and then what we're going to be working on today is Chapter 7. I assume you have opened the software we're going to be using, ProConnect. I also assume that you have the instructions. We have the solutions available to us for us to double check, and we have the textbook open with the specific problem starting with cumulative software problem group 5. The following information is available for the Albert, Nelson, Gator family, in addition to that provided in chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, first thing we need to do is look at the instructions, and just as the previous chapters, we need to make a copy. We'll go into ProConnect, we'll click on tax returns, and we'll see we had chapter 6 last created. We'll click on the down arrow, copy return. You'll see now we have a copy of chapter 6. We'll go in and rename it. Means we get rid of the reference to chapter 6, change that to chapter 7, and it's no longer a copy. We'll rename it. So we'll click on the chapter 7, and now we'll get started and start working on it. Let's go back to the textbook. The Gators paid tuition and fees for both Crocker and Kamen to attend college. Recall that Crocker is a freshman at Tribal River Community College, and Kamen is a part-time student in community college. If you have a child who's attending college and you pay for their tuition, then potentially the parents can take that as a credit, can take the credits for the tuition. The child has to be a dependent. So even though Kamen is attending college, because she's not a dependent, her college credits will apply to her. But Crocker is a dependent, so therefore we're going to focus on Crocker. And it looks like that's what we actually received, the 1098T. 1098T shows the amount of tuition payments that were made. In this case, it was $4,280. He also received some scholarships, $1,100. Those are the dollar amounts we need in order to enter the information into the tax return. Let's go ahead and look where we're going to enter that. We'll go, it says here to get the education credits for Crocker tuitions, select input return from the top menus, and then from the menus at the left side, select credits, education, and tuition. So let's do that. We'll go into the input screen, and then we'll look for credits. It looks like credits are down here. I roll over to the next column. So we're looking for educational credits. Perfect. And now we have a tab here that essentially is the detail for educational credits from a 1098T. Student information, the first question, is this a taxpayer spouse? Nope, it's not. So the dependent, we do have to list the dependent number, enter 1 for the dependent number, and then enter Crocker's information. So dependent is 1. I remember this, Crocker, Gator. And the Social Security, let's go ahead and use the 1098T. Let's see if it's listed there. Does it show it? It does. Students 10. So we have the student's TIN number here on the 1098. We'll enter that. Let's go back to the instructions. Scroll down the educational institution attended and enter the information. Let's go back to the 1098, Tribal River Community College. The address is 2400 SE Salerno Road. 2400 SE Salerno Road. Is it spelled out? No, just started, period. Stuart, Florida. And the zip 34997. We need the EIN. The EIN is 443421456. 443421456. Okay, let's go back to the instructions. So we're going to enter the qualified tuition fees net of non-taxable benefits in the amount of box 1 less box 5. So let's do that. Go down to current year expenses, qualified tuition fees. Click on it. 4280 is the amount. Now we do have to make it less the tuition. So on this description, we'll just call it tuition, and then less scholarships and grants, $1,100. So we'll put $1,100 minus $1,100. So the net will be $3,180. Okay, so that takes care of the credits for education. We'll move back to the textbook, and it goes on to say to us that in December 2023, which was the prior year, Albert's 82-year-old aunt, Virginia Everglades, there's her social security number, was unable to support and care for herself and moved in with the Gators. She lived with them for all of 2024. The Gators provided more than one half of Aunt Virginia's support. Virginia's only source of income is a small annuity that paid her $3,100 in 2024. While Albert and Allison were working, the Gators hired a nanny service from time to time to take care of Aunt Virginia. The Gators paid $4,400 to Nannies R Us in 2024. Nannies R Us has an EIN of 341234123 and is located at 12 SE Central Parkway, number 555. That is in Stuart, Florida, and 34994. We first have to enter Virginia Everglades as a dependent. Let's go back to the instructions and see if they give us some hints. To add Virginia as a dependent, from the left menu at the left, select General and Dependents. Let's do that. We'll go to General, and then we'll click on Dependents. Click the plus sign tab next to Crocker near the top of the page. Okay, so right up here, plus sign. And we have a new dependent we're entering, Virginia Everglades. They didn't give us her specific birth date, which is quite interesting. But what we do know is that she's 82 years old. Pull up a calculator. It is the year 2024. We're going to subtract from that 82. So we know that she was born in 1942. I think that's good enough in terms of precision. So what we're going to do right now, unless we are given some additional information at a later point, we're going to go ahead and just enter her birth date as June 30th, 1942. That's close enough. She does have a social security number that was provided. Let's see. Social security number 699199000. Okay, so let's enter that into tax software. 6199000. In terms of her relationship, she's an aunt. There's the option, aunt. Now she moved in December of the prior year, so she was there for all 12 months. In terms of type, let's see if they give us some instruction on that. Enter number 3, dependent other than child. Okay. So I think we've entered everything we need for her qualifying as a dependent. I think we're good. We're really looking at maybe some credits for dependent care. The Gators paid $4,400 to Nannies RS. So we talked about that. Let's go see what the instructions say on how we can enter that into the software. To get a credit for Virginia's care expenses, from the menu at the left, select Credits, Dependent Care Credits, Form 2441. Credits, Dependent Care Credits, 2441. Let's go back to the instructions. It says below, under the persons and expenses qualifying for dependent care credits, select Virginia from the drop-down next to the first name. I had to first click on children and dependents. Persons and expense qualifying for dependent care, we're going to click on the drop-down arrow. We're going to click on Virginia. So her information comes up. Let's go back to the instructions. Enter the qualifying dependent care expense incurred and paid in 2024 and click the over age 12 and disabled button. Qualified dependent care expenses, $4,400. We're going to click on this button, over age 12 and disabled at the time the care was provided. Okay, so from the menu at the left, select Credits, Dependent Care Credit, Care Providers, and enter the information for Nannies Are Us. Let's do that. We have dependent care credit. We just entered the children dependents information. Now we're going to click on care provider. And the name was Nannies Are Us. See if I entered that correctly. Nannies Are Us. Capital R, lowercase s. No apostrophe. The street address, SE Central Parkway 555. Let's go ahead and enter that. 12 SE Central Parkway, number 555. The city, Stuart, Florida. The zip is 34994. And then we need the word EIN. Looks like it's 34-1234123. 34-1234123. Now enter the total amount paid to the care provider in 2024 for all dependents. The amount that was paid, $4,400 for Virginia Everglades, was also all 100% went to Nannies RS. So that's what we're going to enter. Let's look at our instructions now. I think we've entered everything. Now we can go back and look at the results of the return and then compare them to the solutions. So here is the tax return information, and here is the solution. There we go. So we'll split the screen so that we can see both at the same time. Now, usually we go through this with no changes, but we did have a change here we want to look at. So Virginia Everglades, 619 whale 61, that says 699. Let's go look at the Yep, it does say 699, so I had entered it incorrectly. Oh my goodness, let's go back and fix that. So we'll go to General, Dependents, Virginia, and then just click on there, and instead of 619, it's 699. Oh, let's try refreshing the return and then see if that just updated. It did. So quickly, when you pull this up once, if you want to make some changes, click on refresh forms, and then you can immediately see the updates. 699199000, and that worked out okay. All right, there was no change to W2, but we're going to look at it anyway just to make sure, especially the total summaries here. Let's look at 1Z 70,706. Let's go ahead and go all the way to the total income, which was 9. Total income 9,108,412. That still matches. Adjustments 29,553. Looks right. Let's go ahead and go to the bottom page here. 45,947. We're good for page 1. Let's go to page 2. And we have the 4183. We're going to look at the total tax at line 24, see if we're matching. We are matching. So we've entered the detail. There's some additional credits there, child independent credits. We'll look at the specific schedules, but chances are they're going to be okay because the totals work. Let's just go down to the bottom line, 35A, 5109. Yep, everything works. So we'll move over to Schedule 1. And Schedule 1 shows a bottom line of 28,819. There's no income changes. We'll move on to Schedule 2. And Schedule 2, 2105. Second page, 2105. Schedule 3. Schedule 3 actually is going to be one that we didn't have before. So credit for child independent care credits, that's line 2, part 1. Part 1, line 2. Part 1, line 2, $600, $600. The next line, 3, educational credits, 1377. Those worked out. The total credits coming through, 1977. We're good to go. Itemized deductions, Schedule A didn't change, 30,074. And Schedule B for sure didn't change, but let's go ahead and just glance at it. Total of 1422 and 2100. Schedule C didn't change, 14694. Oops, 14894. Page 2 must be correct. Let's go to Schedule D. The bottom line on Schedule D. Capital gains 6165. And then the top page is 5365. Perfect. Move on to sales. So we don't need to see the detail. We know that there's some differences that we've talked about before. Schedule E, just for kicks, we'll look at the Schedule E, 4,000, 4,000. And then let's go to Form 2441. That is a new form we didn't have before. Make sure that the information is entered correctly. Looks good. Nannies are us. 12 Southeast Central Parkway, number 555, Stuart, Florida, 34994. 342342123. This is showing either as a Social Security or an EIN. The number is correct, so we don't have to worry too much. The solutions did show it up as an EIN. I'm going to go see if there's a setting or something we need to make an adjustment for, but either way would be correct. Then looking at Virginia, Everglades, for Social Security is there. There is an X here on check here if the qualified person was over age 12. She was. 4,400, 3,077.06. We're looking at each line 3, 4, moved 5, 13,841. Looks good. 6, 3,000. 7 is 78,859. And then 600 is at the bottom line. So very good. Now let's go look on the tax return. This is for the 2024-41. We're not going to kill ourselves trying to figure this one out, but we'll go look at it. Go to credits, dependent care credits. The care provider is what? There was a care provider is the taxpayer's household employee. No, employer furnished dependent care. Nope. $4,400. Here is the identification number is a social security. See, we didn't check that, Mark. So that's kind of interesting how there's a difference. No, I'm not going to kill ours. We shouldn't kill ourselves trying to figure that out now. The ID is there. The IRS is not going to worry too much about it. So we're good. All right. So I think we've that was the only thing that was kind of a little quirky was that EIN, but the numbers were all good, correct. We're on the process of filing this with correct numbers, which is the most important element of a tax return. We are done with chapter 7 and ready for chapter 8. Chapter 8 will be our last one. And we'll get started on chapter 8, the next video we got.